We are back once again in the house. I ain't no rapper.
It would be kind of cool. It'd be kind of cool to bust a freestyle with it.
I leave that to the professionals. Nah, I ain't gonna even try to fool nobody. Nah. What's up, good people? Man, Talk Mondays. We back Monday night. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Derek, the Thought Engineer, rocking it with my man, comedian John Yogi.
What it do, sir?
How you doing, man?
Man, I am good, man. Rested, ready to get back at another show, man. Put another one in the can. Hey, man, any idea how many shows is this for us? We should be
like 40 some shows, man. We're right around 40. We're right around 40.
We 40 in, man. We 40 in.
Yeah, we've been doing this a while now.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. But we want to always continue to bring you guys great shows, great content. And all we ask is that you like, share, follow, tell your friends, subscribe, YouTube, all that. What's up, Latarsha?
Hell Boogie in the house.
So, fam showing up.
I just want to say this. Listen, if you guys enjoy it and you think it might help you with something, why wouldn't you share that information with somebody else? If it's good for you, certainly somebody else can use that information. Listen, don't eat all the groceries. You gotta share. You got enough groceries for everybody. Share the groceries. Share them.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Man Talk Monday. It's an open forum where we talk about everything from religion to politics to relationships, but we do it from a man's perspective. We try to let you know how men feel about these things, right? Now, this is not just for men. We want men, women, boys, girls, everybody. You're invited to come and talk to us, converse with us. How you can do that? You go in the comments, leave your comment, leave your question. We can see this, and this is how we can talk to you. We want you to be part of the conversation tonight, all right? So make sure you go in the comments, leave your questions, so we can have this awesome conversation tonight. We got a good one tonight, but before we get into all that, ladies and gentlemen, Men Talk Monday News.
Good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to Man Talk News tonight. And tonight's top subject, the weather. We can't go for that. I'm hearing that we're supposed to be down in the 12s. I don't got no clothes for that. I got something. I got hoodies for the 50s. I got hoodies for the 40s. I got hoodies for the 30s. After that, I don't got no clothes for that. This is Texas. I moved to Texas because I want the weather to stay at the worst is the 40s and maybe a little bit of 30s. But 12? Listen, you can't wear a sweatshirt for 12. You ever been out in 12 degree weather when you walk outside and the snot just break off and fall? You ever been there? I've been there. That's why I moved to Texas. So weatherman, you go back and get some more weather because we don't want that one. This has been Man Talk News. I'm your man, John D. Blackman. Good evening and good night.
That says supposed to be 12, man. 12. You know, 12 is so cold that you cry and it just stay right there and you don't even curl. You ever have something hanging out? I know that it just stay there and you don't even curl.
Everybody walking around looking like Roscoe. But that's why I'm working from home right now. So I don't have to get out there. God bless my wife. Shout out to my wife, our producer, Dr. Selena Smith. Shout out to our producer. She keeps us in line, keeps us on track. So shout out to her. We appreciate her and all the work that she does with us. So just want to make sure we give a shout out to our producer.
Shout out to the producer. Yeah. All right.
All right. So we want to remind you guys that, hey, we do have a segment, Man Talk About It. We want you to send your letters in. If you got something going on with you and you want to get a man's perspective on it, it could be anything you're dealing with. Letters are anonymous. You don't have to leave your name. We won't mention anybody's name or anything. So don't be worried or be scared. But just make sure you don't tell a story that somebody gonna recognize and come after you. But by all means, write to us. Email is on the bottom of the screen. mantalkmondays1@gmail.com. Leave us your whatever you want to talk about, and we'll give you our input on your letter and let you know what's really going on. And be ready. Be ready. Because
we'll tell you the truth. We'll tell you the truth. And see, and it's the thing. Now, I know everybody has situations and things that they need some help with. And we just want to help. We just want to help.
That's it. That's all. That's all. Yes. Yes. Shout out to the Deltas. Delta Sigma Theta. Yes, my wife is.
Oh, God. Please.
She's holding it down. I got to give her props. She's holding it down. I appreciate it.
How much props we going to give her today? How about that? I'm kidding. She make us look good. I'm kidding. She make us look great. We appreciate it.
All right. So we just want to remind y'all about that. So by all means, if you got something that's going on, you don't have to be. I mean, it could be as funny or be as serious as you want it to be. Right. We do know how to do serious subjects here. Right. So by all means, write us. All right. Now we won't prolong the time anymore. We're gonna get into tonight's topic. Tonight's topic, what we want to know is, how do you define Black excellence? How do you define Black excellence? And we want to hear from you guys tonight. So make sure you drop your comments, your questions in there and let us know. We want to know, how do you define Black excellence? Is it money? Is it fame? Is it, how do you define a successful relationship? So we want to know what y'all say. How do you define Black excellence? Because there's a lot of people doing a lot of things out here. A lot of people in the limelight, a lot of people, famous. Are they famous for the right reasons? I don't know, but they famous. We want to know, are they the standard though? Is this what you consider Black excellence? So what would you consider Black excellence?
I think anybody that has accomplished. Okay. Anybody that has goals, has set out goals to accomplish, and they've accomplished those things in life, and can be an example to other people of how they've done it and what they've done in whatever area that may be. No, let me take that back. No. Not whatever area that may be. No. and things that people can take and use for positively. Okay. Though, I think one of the things, I think sports gets I think they get a bad rap. I think they get a bad rap. Let me see, sports, basketball, rappers, and I think that is put on them, the excellence thing, because of the money and that kind of thing, because it looks like that they're doing well. The appearance is that, oh my God, I saw the videos, they got cars, they got houses. And when you deal with Black excellence, we want to deal with what reality and not what perception is.
Yeah.
And I think with rappers and sports, it's just hard to kind of tell, because we have. Let me see. You asked what Black excellence is to me. I think, again, like I said, I think anybody that's a positive influence for somebody to model them.
Yeah.
Positively again.
So, let me ask, is it relative to where you come from and where you live? Because let me tell you, I remember I was teaching the GED class down in Oak Cliff at the Urban League, teaching down in Oak Cliff. And I had young kids or high school kids that were like on probation and stuff where they had to come.
Mm-hmm.
But I never forget this young lady in the class said her goal, her dream was to marry a drug dealer and was serious. She was dead serious. Her goal was to marry a drug dealer and she was serious.
See,
What y'all think about that?
see, that's how that's how things. Well,
John Suggs says someone with great ideas and makes the community proud. Okay.
okay, that's a good one.
With great ideas.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm. That's a good one. With your story, D, I thought she was gonna take a different turn. I thought she was gonna make you the hero.
I was just floored once she said it. All right, so Sam Jones says individuals that are Black and portrays great qualities and abilities that make the Black community proud. Okay. So we're hearing right now people are talking about, people with great ideas or people that make community proud. So how much leeway do we give them? Think about it. I mean, we have some Black people do some great things, but people start digging through their life, and now you start finding, unfavorable things.
Dave, before you jump in, I got a question, Dave. You think LeBron James is a Black excellence?
I think LeBron James is Black excellence. LeBron, from what we've seen, and I have to preface that from what we've seen, because like I said, you don't know these people personally, but he seems to be a family man. He has done things and set a standard for other athletes to where they control their own brand. He's teaching athletes how to control their own brand so that they can maximize the benefit of being in the NBA or any kind of professional sports. And he's doing great things in the community.
And see, I think that's what to me, it's more about what he's done off the basketball court. The school, opening up the school, managing players, creating opportunities. I think he paid for so many people. Brother thing. I mean, he's doing things to make the community proud, not just on the back. It's not, to me, it's more about what he's doing off the basketball court than what he's doing on the basketball court. I think he's excellence personified. I think, and I don't even know him as a person. I'm just looking at the examples that he's setting by what he's doing. I think he's doing an outstanding job with that.
So when we talk about Black excellence, I think before all of the foolishness happened, would you have considered Bill Cosby Black excellence?
Absolutely, you would. Absolutely, and still do, as a matter of fact. Now, I still do. I ain't gonna sit no cups. I ain't sitting no cups.
How people feel about that. I want to know how people feel about that. I've got conflicting views from different people in the Black community about it.
Well, I ain't sitting no cups down around him or nothing. Matter of fact, we ain't even drinking nothing while he in the room.
Tasha said Bill Cosby, back in the day. Tasha said, good question. Black excellence is like a crock pot of ingredients that create a fabulous meal. You better say it. It's your attitude, intelligence, and patience, which affords you an opportunity to take care of your family, promote community involvement, i.e., uses their influence. Hey man, I think Tasha is hitting on something. Now, when it comes to look at these things that she said, and before the fallout, you would say Bill Cosby was doing it. When I find out this man, for the Cosby Show, he had a child psychologist on staff on the show who helped him make sure he wasn't putting out any images or anything that was damaging to anybody that was watching. I think there's somebody who's, you know, kind of at least looking out for the community.
It appeared, I mean, everything that he had done, everything that we could see at that point, man, looked like he was. I mean, he tried to buy Channel 5. He was the first black guy that we saw do a show and have us in a positive light. His wife was a lawyer and he was a doctor in a family, and the kids wasn't having babies out of wedlock. They were going to college. It was expected that they went to college. I mean, it was. I think for that particular time, it was much needed, and it was bigger than him at the time, I believe.
So let me ask this question. I want everybody to chime in. Was the Cosby Show even relatable?
No, it wasn't. How many doctors and lawyers live in the same house that's black in the same house with the kids ain't on drugs? It's funny because his personal life was different than what the show was. His personal life was more relatable than what the show was, because he was having all kind of problems with his kids, like we do. You know what I'm saying? It was more relatable. But I think just for viewing purposes, man, listen, we know what relatable is and we know what we could strive for. I think it just gave us something it just gave us an outlet. Hey, let's look at this and maybe we can imagine our lives being like this. Or we can imagine, hey, why don't our kids go? Because they had fun living life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It just, you know.
So it was Good Times and What's Happening more relatable? Depending on where you come from, it was relatable to me, and my parents aren't doctors and lawyers. Okay, so parents aren't doctors and lawyers, but I think having professional parents, or
yes,
in the black community, just having both parents.
Yeah.
So Anthony says, Black excellence to me is just holding up under the pressures of ignorance towards you. When in position to inspire, you walk the walk and continue to lead by example regardless. I can get with that, because you got to be able to take the heat. Because anytime you rise to a certain level, you got to understand, people might be gunning for you.
It's going to take a unprecedented amount of discipline. I mean, you're not going to just, you're just not going to achieve that without a certain amount of discipline, man.
Sophia said, I don't think he was trying to be. He was giving hope, and that's not all. So I think she said he knew, this is not what people normally see, but if I can show them something, and people have to understand the influence of media. The influence of media is strong. Yeah. It's real strong. And I think he understood that. Sophia said, in showing that not all Black families are a mess. Because let me tell you, you talk about, I couldn't get, as a kid, it didn't bother me. As an adult, I cannot watch Good Times or What's Happening. Wesley said, I hated Good Times because they never had exactly. Like, you mean nobody can get out the hood? Nobody can come out the project? Samantha said, yes, John. The opposite. Good Times, as an adult, when I look at Good Times, I get it frustrates me. You had the guy who was headed to professional football. He was, he's on his way, and he ended up getting stuck there with him. But
you said this. Excuse me. You said that the media is powerful, and I think this was a show that was put out by corporate America to say, hey, look, this is the show we're gonna put out for y'all. This is the show we're gonna put out, because I think there was a lot of instances where the people on the show were like, hey man, can we start moving towards some Good Times? They say, no, but you can start moving toward the door because that's not what we doing here.
Yes, because I can't remember the guy's name. The guy that played the daddy.
Yeah.
Guy that played James Evans.
Yeah.
John Amos.
Yeah.
Is his name. John Amos. He got tired of the buffoonery of JJ. And he started telling the producers, hey, we need to kind of pull back on this. We got Michael who wants to be a Supreme Court judge. You had Thelma who had dreams of her own, but you want to focus on Dynamite. You want to focus on that. So Wesley say the daddy got killed off because he wanted them to go to college. Right. And after he protested about how JJ shouldn't be the focus of the show, they killed him off the show. John Amos said that. He said he got the call that, hey, he said, we got good news and bad news. Producer said, we got good news and bad news. He said, the good news is we've been picked up for another season. He said, well, so what's the bad? He said, the bad news is you won't be with us. So you had people behind the scenes who knew that this was not the images we need to be projecting, especially when you talk about Black excellence and trying to raise the level of expectation for people, but they were being fought. So you get a guy like Bill Cosby who has the creative rights and opportunity, and he actually saved NBC.
Yeah, he did.
The Cosby Show saved NBC. All right. So Mika says the Cosby Show showed us what we could be and accomplish. It was a positive Black family. Now, I loved Good Times as a kid, but as an adult, I realized that they never had good times. They lied to me with their title. Absolutely.
Should have been not so good time.
They didn't upgrade. They didn't upgrade to oatmeal because we have grits. That would. All right, I missed it. Okay. So over the place, my bad. So but here's the thing, because even when I watch, she said, sorry for my typos. Said slow down. Just slow down. We're going from oatmeal to grits. All right. But even what's happening, if you go back and watch what's happening, you hear Rerun talk about himself, it is disgusting. To hear Rerun, yeah, we know Rerun was a big guy. He could dance, though. That big joke can move. But to hear him talk about himself, and I don't know if you understood that that Raj and Dee's dad was in jail.
Oh, I never knew that.
He was in jail. I remember seeing the episode and they started talking about daddies, and that's where their daddy was in jail.
So I guess so. Even with that, I guess with that being said, then do we make enough people? Do we see Black excellence as much as do we ignore it? What we see of Black excellence, or do we expect more from it? You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of people. I believe it's a lot more people in the community that show Black excellence. For example, school teachers teaching in this pandemic, going through the changes they've gone through. That's to me, man. That's Black excellence to me.
I don't like what's happened with the status of school teachers. When I was coming up, granted, I was from a small city, small town, but the teachers were like, they were prominent.
Held in high regard.
They were held in high regard, but you don't have that anymore. You don't see that anymore. And is it about the money?
She gonna make me go into something. So, well, let's see, because I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm just wondering, is it watered down? Is the teaching now as good as it used to be back when my kindergarten teacher, Miss Otterberry, her name was Elberry. I remember my kindergarten teacher's name, man. And she was she was an old lady, so I know she probably,
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
But I'm just because something has happened where teachers not looked at, and they're not revered like they used to be. It was good to be. It used to be good to be a teacher back in the day. I don't know what happened to that.
You're right. I don't, because when I looked at everybody, the people who were more notable in the community, they were teachers or they were in education. I'll put it that way. They were in education. And you're right. I don't think teachers get the notoriety that they should get anymore. So we talk about Black excellence, how you define Black excellence. Is Black excellence, how much of it is about financial success? How much does that play a part? Financial success.
Oh man, I think that's, it's interesting though. And that's something, because I think for the most part, that's what moves the needle. That's what moves the guy that keeps trying, don't really move the needle, because we'll say that in a minute. If you're not what they say, a poor man can't tell a wealthy man nothing. So if your finances not moving the needle, people really don't want to hear from you. They don't want to hear nothing you got to say if you're not moving the needle financially. And it's crazy, because during the month of Black History Month, I wonder how many people that didn't have the money actually moved the needle by things they were doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, because I think we're at a point to where we focus on the money a lot, but is that a marker? Because you have people who have money, and because they have money, they get the attention. But is it good attention?
Like hip hop. Is hip hop what's going on with hip hop? Is hip hop, does that represent Black excellence? I mean, is it counterproductive? I mean, tell me about hip hop. What do you think about hip hop, D?
When I look at hip hop, you look at artists like Meg Thee Stallion, you got Lil Wayne. Bro, I'm out of touch with them now. I'm like, I can't. But you got guys these days. It's like, it's one thing when you listen to their music, you hear the subject of the music, you're like, how is this helping? But people try to rectify that with, oh, but you don't know what they're doing in the community. Is it that counterproductive though? Tarsha said, listen, money helps. And she clapping with it. So let me do this right. Listen, money helps. But it's what you do with it to support other issues, causes. Right. And she has a point. But what if how you get the money kind of almost goes against the cause? I never forget Nelly. Nelly had a sister who had cancer. She had cancer. Nelly had just brought out the song Tip Drill. And we all know what Tip Drill was about.
Is that the one where they had the credit card at the end of it?
Right. He had the credit card.
Hey.
But it was degrading to women.
Where was some?
And so he tries to go to Spelman, an all-female Black university, a prestigious university for Black females, to hold some kind of drive for cancer awareness. And they would not let him come. And it really tore him up. I remember seeing an interview when he was talking about it, but they rejected him from the university because of his video. Although he was trying to do something positive for cancer awareness because of his sister, because of that video, they rejected him. So do hip hop artists and these people have to really consider what they're doing? Samantha says no, especially when you have this rapper getting a 24 million diamond implanted in his forehead.
I saw that. I saw it.
That was, oh my goodness. That was a bunch of foolishness.
But now let me.
Samantha says, I don't think hip hop represents Black excellence. But here's the thing. How many of our kids are looking at them as role models?
Well, let me say, it's kind of a catch-22 with that.
Okay.
Because most of those guys, you take the Jay-Z's and a lot of guys from my generation and even the young ones, man, that getting a deal is not easy. You
Mhm.
have to have perseverance, and you have to be, and you really look what Chance the Rapper is doing. Why would Chance the Rapper not be considered black excellence? He has his own label, he has his own thing without going through a label. He's doing all this on his own. And I just think it's a fine line for us to kind of judge them on some of the things, because that's what we're doing. We're actually judging them on whether or not we think they should be considered positive for our community or negatively. And I'm not sure maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure that's the right way to go.
Okay. Let's see what John said. John says counterproductive because they're throwing out money and they own you then and not actually earning it. So he says it's counterproductive. I would have to agree only because the music and the subject of the music reaches way further than their philanthropic efforts.
Yeah, it's true.
It reaches way further. Cheryl says, I don't think it's about money because there are some people with money that doesn't do anything to influence others positively. Money only magnifies who you are. She got a point. And you said something. You said, it's hard to get a deal. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think it's hard to get a deal as long as you do what they ask you.
Oh, no, there you go. You're right.
I think it's hard to be a true artist and do what's on your heart and still get the money.
But you don't think that as a community, the black community is too hard? We're too hard on our people, on our heroes, on the people that we look up to. You don't think so? Because I think we judge them. We judge them by what they do in their personal lives sometimes, and I don't think that's fair. R. Kelly needs to be back.
So do we confuse talent and fame with character in the black community?
Oh, absolutely. But we making one and the same though. We making one and the same, D. Listen, because poverty in some parts of the black community, poverty is the bigger thing, and all we can think about is getting out. Oh, one day when I get out, getting out. That's all we can talk about. And so I think we confuse what black excellence is with, if I could just get this, when I get my money right.
Right.
I'm so serious, man, because I think that's what we equated to.
So I think we do people a disservice because everybody thinks that's the only way out, and it's not. It's not the only way out. Now, if you trying to have, all these cars or whips, as they call them, with, blinged out, all this kind of stuff, yes. But if you're just trying to get to the next level of a better life, a stable home, let's start there. That's a stable home. It's not as hard to get there, but I think people shooting for the fame and the fortune, they miss the value of just getting to the next level where you can just make it better for the next generation.
But you'll make somebody with money a hero that's doing wrong, rather than making the guy that's giving back to the community, giving away lunches and meals and things like that. We'll make that guy with the money a hero before we would the guy that's actually putting back in the community.
Wesley said the church has made that confusion for years. And I see what he's talking about. You take talent over character because somebody can sing real well or somebody can play an instrument real well. We'll give them credit for character that they don't have just because they can do something. You take professional athletes. They have a talent. they have a talent.
Yes.
And we get so disappointed when they're doing what they normally do.
Yes. Okay, yes. But the church, there has to be a separation from the church and from what we do. Now, the church is supposed to be, to the best of their ability, an example of people trying to do better, attempting to do better.
Okay, no, hold on. Okay, so let's take that. Let's take what you just said. We understand the church is a place where people are trying to do better.
Yeah.
Let's say we get, I don't know, I'm gonna say Chris Brown.
Chris Brown.
Chris Brown comes into the church.
Yeah.
He comes into the church.
We run right to the pulpit.
We give him a platform in the church right away when he could be coming because he recognized that there's something deep wrong with me, and the church, I heard the church can help. But he get there, and now you give him a platform when clearly he needs.
See now, Chris Paul. Chris Paul. Chris Brown. I can see his first sermon, how to slap the devil out of somebody. You get out of there, devil. Devil, you get out of there. Brother, and they gonna slam in the spirit, dude. They're gonna be laid out on the floor. But
boy, what are you talking about?
Man, but think about it. I think the church, how could you not? At what church that boy is gonna be at? That the world ain't gonna want to know, hey, he at my church.
Oh, think about when Maze. Remember when Maze went? Maze stepped out of hip hop, went to the church.
Did, and ain't made no money since. Ain't made no money since.
But
listen,
but to just think about, because we talk about black churches. You got white people who got buku money that sit up in church every Sunday, and you know what I'm saying, but in the black church, if somebody steps in with money, not saying all churches, but I'm talking about a lot of churches, you step in with money, we give them way too much leeway.
Okay, so let me say this. I'm gonna have to disagree with you, because the churches that Kanye West was at wasn't black churches. The churches
what you mean? What you talking about?
Churches that Kanye West was at, that was on their platforms, were not black churches. He was at white churches. He was at big white churches.
He went to Eddie Longo church where what's grandma was.
He was here in Dallas,
Atlanta.
He was here in Dallas at that great one of the biggest churches out here in Prestonwood. He was at Prestonwood.
He was at Prestonwood?
Yes, he was at Prestonwood. So everybody's guilty. I mean, and I think that's the thing, man. Look.
But those of you watching don't know what Prestonwood is.
The church.
It is this huge church.
Yes.
It's along there with what's Joel Osteen. It's not as big, but it's running pretty close. So
but now I'm curious, audience. Y'all don't think the reason we don't have black heroes is because we turn them down? Y'all think we too judgmental? Y'all don't think we looking for them to mess up? Y'all don't think because I think we got heroes, but I think we so quick to see, because most of the time we quick to turn down people that, okay, if you're here and I'm here and you do anything, I'm finna tear you down. If you do anything, and I'm simply saying, now listen, I love me some Bill Cosby, but again, I love Bill Cosby for his gift and what he did, not for what he was struggling with, the issue they were struggling with. Listen, because we all struggle with something. We all struggle. Now his was just over a period of 20-some years. Now, and I'm just simply saying, I don't have a judge or a jury, no hell to put him in. I just think as black people sometimes we have a tendency to tear down our heroes. Because this is the thing. We don't need to turn them down, because they're going to get whatever's coming. God going to make sure you get what's coming to you. So I don't have to tell you now. I just want R. Kelly to just pop out one more album. If we can get one more album from R. Kelly, like Chocolate Factory. Come on, tell me that Chocolate Factory wasn't banging. Tell me it wasn't banging.
Listen, no doubt R. Kelly is a very talented guy. But even the fact that he was talented, man, kept people from really dealing with him the way he needed to be dealt with. Now, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm talking about addressing his issues.
It's just what it is. It's just what it is.
Right.
Yeah, it's just what it is.
So do we even need heroes in the Black community? Are they even necessary?
And see, that's the thing. Because if we took it personal and tried to be the heroes of our family, if our kids thought of my dad as the hero in the house, if we took it personal, if we couldn't put it on Jay-Z. We couldn't say, "Oh, son, look at him." Because to be honest, ain't no telling what kind of hairstyle Jay-Z allowed to be wearing the next time you see him, and I'm gonna feel some kind of way about it if my kids start wearing their hair like Jay-Z. The best example I think we can give our family and our kids is from us. We need to be more heroes. That's what I mean. Tell me I'm wrong because I'm not gonna turn me down.
I want people in the audience to help us out. Let me know about a time where your kid showed you how much they look up to you. Tell me about that time. John says you have a pic with 5 heroes behind you on the wall. John, he checking your background, bro. So who you got back there? You got Muhammad, you got Malcolm. Who are the other people?
I got Malcolm. I got Barack Obama. I got Malcolm X. I got Nelson Mandela, and I got what's the Jamaican cat?
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. Yeah.
Bob Marley. Yeah. Now, for those who don't like Nelson Mandela, to me, that's a hero. Yeah. Nelson Mandela, now granted, because when he was in jail, his wife was kind of, you know what I'm saying, she was kind of doing some crazy stuff. But this man was a lawyer in South Africa. He was a lawyer, and he could have lived a pretty comfortable life just being a lawyer. But because he couldn't sit back and see his people be done the way they were being done, he gave up his own comfort. They said this man had to crack rocks with a hatchet in jail. Crack rocks.
Mandela was a little bitty dude. He only weighed about 37 pounds.
No, he was actually a big guy.
Was he really? I thought every time I seen somebody, he was a little bitty dude, a little frail dude.
Yeah, no, he's a big guy. I don't know if who they have playing him, but yeah, Mandela he wasn't a small guy, but he refused to give in, and because he refused to give in, South Africa saw apartheid be done away with. And he went from the prison to the presidency. From the prison to the presidency.
So you think it's so rather than, because it's funny, we talk about the people on the wall, because I basically look at them, use them as examples of no matter what you're trying to accomplish, nothing is insurmountable. If you believe in yourself, if you work hard. And I use those as examples. It's funny because I have never looked up there and thought of them as heroes. Never have. And I'm thinking there's something wrong with me because and maybe it's the same thing. He was 6 foot.
Okay. He was 6 foot. Yeah, so he wasn't a small guy, average, but yeah, he wasn't a real tiny guy. But so y'all tell me, who are y'all heroes? Y'all let me know. Tarsha says, no, being a hero is too much pressure on anybody. Our community has an expectation on people with money. Great point.
Hey,
so what's the expectation though? What's the expectation? Is it perfection?
I think it's to be perfect. I think we don't want you to have any flaws. But hey, we gonna have some, but we don't want you to have none. But hey, well, let me say before you get to share. And I got more access. I'm the hero that has more access to stuff than you. But yet you want me to be perfect, and I got way more access to stuff than you do.
Cheryl says, yes, we tear each other down. We seem to forget that we all have the same struggles. We have to be all that we can be and more, not just for our family, but for others as well. We are all role models, heroes for someone, whether we want to be or not. Okay, so think about what she just said. Whether we want to be or not, we are heroes for somebody. Is it asking too much for us to recognize that and live our lives in such a way to where they can't find something to tear us down? Is it asking too much?
I think it is. I think it is. Listen, don't be looking at me because I'm gonna make some mistakes and I'm gonna disappoint you. Don't be look. Matter of fact, when we come off this show, don't look at me until next week because I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna mess up as soon as I leave here. So don't look at me. I'm gonna mess up, and you're gonna be. And I think people gonna.
But is this self-fulfilling? All right, so let's get fresh man aware. I think I know who this is. Since we need to define what a hero is. We tear down our heroes because of a faulty interpretation of the word hero. Hero does not equal perfect. Hero is one who is willing to sacrifice themselves for the greater good.
Okay. Now I'm a hero.
Anthony said, my father. Anthony said, my father. He said his father is his hero. So let me know, who is your hero?
Yeah.
John said Jesus. Now let me deal with this real quick. Because I know where everybody about to go. Oh, but he was Jesus.
I mean, come on, man.
Bro. No, bro. Because here's the thing. And here's the thing that athletes and professional people understand. Discipline is the key.
Yeah.
Now we can discipline ourselves to get money. Why can't we discipline ourselves to look better in front of the community? Why is that not possible? Monique said, I agree with that. So I think we give ourselves too much of an out. Wesley said, Derek Smith, because of the way you carried yourself around me, which made me want to be better. All right. That's my nephew. Shout out to my nephew, Wesley. But I was in that regard, I was just trying to be better myself. I wasn't looking at him like, oh, I got to show him something. It wasn't about that. I was just trying to be better myself.
But I think that's what it's about. I think all of the people that we want to make, for example, the 5 people on the wall, I think they just were trying to be better. I think they were trying to come in and leave the world a better place than it was when they got here. And I think that's what everybody should aspire to do or want to be. And I think it's fine to be like to make Christ your hero. I do, but that's a tough one. But
I will say this. Let me help John out. John said to deny his humanity is to give yourself an out. And that's what people do. We deny his humanity, so we have an out. When we do something we ain't supposed to do, we have an out. Well, I'm just human. So was he?
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Now, I'm not giving myself an out, but I am. But
is it wrong to demand perfection?
Listen, actually, we should demand perfection from ourselves. Honestly, to be completely honest, because you can't expect no more from somebody else than you're willing to give and do yourself. To be honest,
I agree.
For us to try to tear each other down or say who's not doing this, who's not doing that, I think if we all, Christ is a perfect example because it's something that we all should strive for, and and I believe that. Now, if I miss the mark today, or if I don't do like I'm supposed to, I don't want you to hold that against. That's all I'm saying. Don't be patient with me like Christ is patient with me. And I don't need you on the side to my look at him, do this, he do that. I don't need that in my life because you don't need it in your life. Don't be trying to put no more on me than what you trying to do.
So how perfect do we expect our Black heroes to be?
Oh man, we want them to be everything that we not. I never forget I was watching the show one time and Tyra Banks was on this Molly show, and she said it's our job to make people see perfection in us. And I think that's when we're looking at something or somebody, we expect perfection from them. We want to see perfection in you of everything that we not.
Tarsha says, that would be letting myself down. I can't be perfect.
Well, she a woman though. I mean,
ladies and gentlemen, send your letters to.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That email address is.
I want y'all away from you guys. You know, D, you ride with me up until I say so wrong. You jump off the truck.
Oh yeah, brother. I know when to abandon ship. John says, collective heroism is best suited to the challenges we face. Collective heroism is best suited to the challenges we face. I would clarify that, John.
Yeah.
I want John to clarify that. Let me know exactly what you're saying with that. What I think he's saying is to expect one person to be perfect is,
oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I think the thing we miss is when there's a clear goal in mind, it forces you to do things different. It forces you to operate different. When you have a goal of taking your family to the next level, it's going to force you to do some things that are uncomfortable, force you to do some things that you don't normally do because of the goal in mind. But in that process, you begin to line up with, an idea that doesn't allow you to make so many mistakes.
Yeah, good one. Yes. Because whatever you're doing or striving for, it should pull you toward it. It should create a pull on you that, hey, if we're gonna do this, then we can't do as much of this, and I got to be more of this. So yeah.
And I think the problem isn't that perfection is unachievable. I think is projecting perfection as if I've never done anything wrong. I think you have to let people know this was a journey for me to get to where you see me now in a moment. I think we get guilty of catching people in moments. And then once we see them in totality, we get disappointed. It's just like people on Facebook who always taking pictures and talk about they in love and all this type of stuff. And that ain't really the relationship. You catching them in moments. But if you see them in totality, the people that really know them, like, what they putting this picture up for? They know they, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think it's possible to have. All right, this question: should personal flaws erase public contribution?
I don't think so. Now, okay, wait. Okay, it depends on what your personal flaws are. Now, if your personal flaws are breaking the law, then it's kind of a skewed line if it's breaking the law. I can't really celebrate you, like, it's funny. It's tough, man. I'm thinking about Bill Cosby. It's like, dude, it's funny. I used to have this thing that if I could meet anybody in the world, I wanted to be Bill Cosby. I did. I was like, man, if I could just talk to this guy.
So what if you fought and achieved voters' rights and everything for Black people, but you stepped out on your wife?
Well, a friend of mine would say, stepping out on your wife is not against the law.
What law?
That's not my law. That's not my law. That's what he said. That my friend saying that ain't against. I'm saying because think about this. We almost that's acceptable. Stepping out is acceptable. But you ain't, as long as you're not raping or doing nothing that can, I'm trying to keep it in context now. I don't want y'all to think that
I get what you.
but man, if it's doing something to somebody that can harm them or something like that, ain't that different though? Don't we kind of judge that differently though?
Yeah, you can't be promoting women's rights and you sex trafficking on the side. You can't do that. Can't do
Boy,
that. It can't be a smokescreen to distract people from what you're really doing.
there you go. There you go.
That's it. Can't be something that you throwing up to, you know.
So what do you say? You disregard the what do you draw the line?
No, listen. I don't care what people say about Bill Cosby. He's still a great man to me. I never held Bill Cosby's life. I looked at his work.
Yeah, what he's done. Yeah.
I never expected him to be, you know, a god to me. It's just I love his focus on the community. I loved his focus on the community. I love that the fact that he would go to such lengths to project images on the screen. There were so many people that went to college because of a different world. So many people that thought college was even possible that they wouldn't even thought about it because he knew enough to put it in people's minds to get them there. Did he have some issues? Absolutely.
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 Yeah.
But I never expected him to be flawless.
That's true.
And I don't really just expect that from anybody. But if you've done great work, I want to acknowledge the work that you've done. And I'm not going to sit up there and just tear down the work because you brought up something they did. If they did something, deal with it. You know what I'm saying? But the body of work they did, I don't think you necessarily can deny that. I said, unless it was a smoke screen.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good. Well, you're right, absolutely right. So my final thoughts for today. We all should strive to be better. We all should strive to be better for us. And oftentimes when you're striving to become a better person, you'll affect other people. Let me make sure we get this right now. Because you don't do it for nobody else. You have to be great for yourself. You have to expect greatness from yourself. And if you expect greatness from yourself, you will eventually get to it and people will begin to follow. But not until you get the very best out of you. And then we can become what we're talking about. That's my final thought. Go ahead, D.
The thing about being a great person and being a leader is you can't sit up there and expect people to follow you just because. The key to being a leader is figuring out what you're here for and trying to do that to the best of your ability. People make the choice to make you a leader because of what they see in you. But don't get it confused. I heard a great man say, if you need the people, you can't lead the people. Great leaders recognize their contribution to people, and they will fulfill that need at all costs, if it means their very life. And let me say this, for heroes, for the sake of heroes, the greatest heroes are not the ones that we see on the stage at the Grammys. It's not the ones we see on the football field. It's the one who's right there in that house making sacrifices every single day. If it's just to make sure that the kids have a hot meal, if it's just to make sure that the kids have a roof over their head, that is a hero. I want to salute my hero, my mother, who did everything she could just to give me a better life, just to make sure that I was okay. It cost her health, it cost her everything. But her health wasn't her focus. Her kids were her focus. And she did everything she could. So I salute my mother, my hero. And I hope that you salute yours. And that's how King speaks for this week.
Yeah.
What's with the look, man?
How you?
Hey, man, I just gotta give credit what credit is due, man.
Hey, man, that's dude.
So
what?
be a hero. Be a hero.
Yeah.
Just do what you have to do, what you're supposed to do. Handle responsibilities. That's the key.
Yeah.
That's
Good,
it.
man. That's good, bro. That's good, man. That's wow. Get those letters, people. Get those letters to us.
Yes. Don't forget, like, share, follow, go to YouTube, subscribe, do all of that. Let your friends and family know about us. All right. We out. We'll be back next week, 7 o'clock. Love your guys. Peace.